Welcome to the Good Rookies podcast. My name's Faheem.
And my name is Nelly J, y'all. And we are Good Rookies.
That's right.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Good Tuesday. And guess what? It's episode 78.
78.
Well, it's 78, y'all. Black History Edition every episode, just so you know. But we're going to highlight, because it is February and so forth. But Faheem, we did an episode, just me and you, and we got lots of reviews. People saying, yo, I really miss you guys just talking and kicking back and fighting up. People love when we argue. I don't know why, but they love. It's like entertainment for them. A first take #Canada version, but our takes aren't trash. Anyways, hashtag shots fired. Anyway, but yeah. So Faheem, 78. We are now February. Oh my goodness, it's Valentine's Day around the corner. People are gonna have love in their eyes. I look at your eyes or whatever. But I'm gonna tell your wife, okay? Episodes for her. All right. So let's talk about this weekend. It's Super Bowl weekend. Guys, we're recording Friday prior to the Super Bowl. So I want us to have a little fun here, right? So when this drops, we're either going to be right or wrong, and we can't take it back. I love that. So how about you go first, right? Will the Rams get it done on their home field, home advantage, or will the ball roll, the young comeback of quarterback of the year? He won that award this week as well. Will Joe Burrow, will he get it done for him? Your thoughts on this?
First, happy Black and Beyond. We talked about Black history, and I'm very much on the Black and Beyond. Like, let's keep that same energy at all times. Like that. Now, in regards to the Super Bowl, it's going to be interesting. Just make a long story short, I'm going to go with Cincinnati and Burrows. Reason being is this kind of feels like, remember the Eagles and Nick Foles? Mm-hmm. A young QB who just had good momentum going into the Super Bowl and got it done. And there's just a lot of good energy toward this, even the story with Cincinnati. I'm going to land with Cincinnati. How about you?
Oh, man, I think we're going 2-0 for this. LA Rams, first of all, I don't really have any dog in this fight, right? So if the Rams win, Bengals win, I'm a Broncos fan, so I'm picking based on very objective, right? I would love to see our boy win, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Beckham, right? So if he wins, won't be mad. However, right? Sorry, Odell Beckham, right? However, Matthew Stafford, his story, special from Detroit. He had Megatron, never could get it done. Now he's with the Rams. It's a good story, but I think the Bengals got it. So this team is just special. They got defense, offense. The kid, I heard he's clutch. He's calm in the pocket. People talk about just seeing how he just kind of manages himself. He will not be nervous on this big stage at all, right? He's won at LSU. I expect him to obviously have big things here in the NFL. So yeah, I'm going with the Bengals. I think they got hot at the right time. I've been saying the Bengals are the hottest team right now. And, they beat Mahomes. That's not an easy fate for him. So I think we're both going to go with the Bengals this time. First time in a while, we picked the same team. So let's see what happens.
Let me ask you about Stafford real quick.
Yeah.
He goes to LA. And he's by the time anyone hears this, Stafford's either going to be the man or he's going to be the dog. Either his team won and, the story that's going to be built up that they're probably hearing, or if they lose, there's going to be another narrative. There's no excuse for him not to get it done with this type of team, opposed to what happened in Detroit. So I guess since we're both going with Cincinnati, we're going with the narrative that Stafford didn't get it done. Didn't get it done, right?
You know what? I don't trust Stafford on the stage, right? Mm-hmm, I trust his defense. I trust his defense and his defense. I don't know if I trust him, right? Now, I know the receiver, Cooper, like he won Offensive Player of the Year. So like they have the pieces. I just don't know anything about him in terms of winning it. But that really against like him or anything like that. I think the Rams got hot, but the Bengals I think are just hotter, and they beat a really tough team to get into it. Stafford legacy will not end because his first time playing with his team, they just got Odell. Like this, it's kind of a newer environment for him, right? So I feel like if they can't get it done this year, he'll be back again next year. But I think the NFL is so competitive that now you're here, you got to get it done. So if Stafford does win, congrats, good for him. But if he wins, Lord, it'll be him and Mahomes every year, and I can't wait to witness that. So let's see what happens, man.
And if they do win and Burrows is the man, is he going to be like Foles? Nick Foles had, coming into that Super Bowl, he was hot and he looked like potential. And then after the Super Bowl, he couldn't keep that same energy.
It's funny. So people that I've spoken to that kind of know him, played, work with him, saw him play in college, they say that this guy is just built different. Like he's a special type player. I never heard that about Nick Foles, coming into the NFL. So I think Bortles is true. I think he's going to be playing and winning for a long time. So I don't think it'll be the first or the last. But how I think we're seeing the turning of the tides, right? We saw Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady battle with, the brothers, right? The Manning brothers. Now we're seeing Burrow, Mahomes. We're going to like these younger quarterbacks, like they're coming up now. So I think we're going to see a new age of these like top tier young guys take over the league, and I love it.
No, I love everything you said there. Let's see by the time this is recorded, how far off we are or how far on we are.
Agreed.
Right. Got you.
All right, man. So let's go to the hot topic this week, brother.
Topics this week. What do you want to talk about?
Let's go Raptors. Yo, it's the mid-season. We are almost at All-Star break. Faheem, we have been running the fan club on Clubhouse. Been great. Lots of ups, lots of downs, a lot of great discussions, good takes, bad takes, you name it. But now we're here. And I think we were asked a question, which is great to ask, Faheem. What's your thoughts on the Raptors up until now? Are you impressed? Because you're very hard to impress as a Raptor fan. Like, you're like, most fans are just happy that we're here. You're like, so Faheem, have the Raptors impressed you at all? Let's come on, Faheem.
So we'll start there. Have they impressed me at all? 100%. I'm very impressed with this team we have now. Definitely. We started shorthanded without Pascal. So it was kind of a makeshift of the guys, and we overexceeded. We really just came out the gate looking very impressive. Pascal came back in and, took a little bit getting adjusted. Here we are now, he settled in. We've made some adjustments, which we'll probably get to in a bit. Overall, if I'm going to grade this Raptor team, coming in, I had us maybe in the play-in. I didn't have us in the middle of the pack. I had us in the play-in. And here we are now. I think we're out of the play-in. Like, we're not a team that I think we should be in the play-in. So for that's a big jump up. So if I'm giving a grade of how I feel of this Raptor team compared to where I started, it's got to be like a B+, really very much impressed. How about you?
Yeah, like you're right. I'm going to give them a B+ as well, but maybe an A-. And here's why, right? I predicted, and everyone can quote me, I've been saying we'll be a 6 seed team. 6.
Yeah, I remember.
That was my number.
I'll back you on that. Yep.
Yeah. And so where we're at, I expected this. And it wasn't because of anything in particular. I just felt that the personnel we have, the fact that we have four guys that can score 30 on any given night. 4. Most teams don't have that. They have 1 or 2 or 3, but we've had all of our starters have had at least one 30+ point night, at least one. That's so impressive. On top of that, our defensive edge, right? That was a challenge. I knew the first 2 months would be tough because of injuries, OG being out, but I think it was a blessing to have Scotty play with Siakam alone and Freddie and Gary Trent. Gary Trent was out, and then having him play with only OG alone. It kind of created that camaraderie and building that trust amongst each other individually and as a team. And now that they're all starting together, it's special. It's a special team. We are playing small ball, but it's working. And Nick Nurse is very creative defensively as well. Of course, there's some improvement. We're not perfect, but I think B+ is a really good grade for us because we are, I think for a lot of people who aren't Raptor fans, they're like, wow, I can't believe it, but we know our team. And if Siakam can play to up to his level, and OG and Scotty Barnes and Freddie and Gary Trent, I don't think a lot of teams want to see us in the playoffs at all. So that tells me, and I've been hearing fans from other teams tell me this even as well. They're like, Janelle, the Raptors are hard out. You can't go in there and expect a W. You have to fight every game for that win. And I truly believe that. We have an edge now. I don't know what's going on, but we have this edge, yo.
The swagger, like we're supposed to be here. I agree. And I like that you mentioned earlier about Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse, he's got to be a front runner for Coach of the Year. And what you mentioned about Nick Nurse and the defense, this is why if we were going to make grades, Nick Nurse is an A+ with the gold star. The fact that we have a team that does not have a 7-footer, for instance, and we know this, and Nick Nurse has been able to make the right adjustments. Things like we mentioned before on defense, where even if we're matched up with a bigger center, we're running traps. Just there's a lot of things, and even what we mentioned with the lineups, and you made a good point the other night, which I like. You talked about Pascal. We use him at the 5, but then one night we had him at the 5, and another night we had him at the 2. So just Nick Nurse's ability to play chess and be flexible. He like this. No one really speaks about this, but our success, I think, is going to fall up on Nick Nurse, obviously, and someone who's the X factor. And I think, honestly, as he goes, I think our recent success goes, and that's Gary Trent Jr.
Absolutely. Talk about Gary Trent. Like, what a special guy. He just blossomed.
He was out. He's come back red hot. But it's not just about him coming back red hot. It's when he's coming back red hot. Late in games, it's always been, who's our go-to guy? And certain people we can say are clutch. Fred VanVleet, he's clutch. OG, clutch, hit big shots. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, we don't have somebody who, if we need a bucket, just give him the ball and let him cook. We don't have that kind of guy. And Gary Trent Jr. has come back since he's been out of the lineup and been that person late that we can say, you know what, we need a bucket, whether you need to hit a 3, whether you need to drive, like anyway, we need something, and he's been there for us. That's something that as a Raptor squad, we haven't had since someone like Lou Williams. Lou Williams was a guy who was a bucket who can come and do it. Outside of that, our organization's never really had those guys that you need a bucket, will get it. And I think he's the X factor. So hopefully he doesn't need to keep performing at this super high clip. We'd love to see it, obviously. But if, he does come down to earth to where he was before, as long as he can maintain and doing it in the right times, that's it. And also, I'll pass to you with this. Gary Trent on the defense, Fred VanVleet on the defense. Both of them elite, the defenders at the backcourt. We're going with Raptors' best backcourt in the Eastern Conference. You with me?
I'm with you. I'm sorry.
Nice.
I'm sorry.
Nice. Now, I know one may make an argument for Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball. Yeah, that's the only argument. And that's the argument. We're here for it. But if you look at the averages of those two, like, first of all, Zach is amazing. Love me some Zach. But the combo of Freddie and Gary Trent is a different level, defensively and offensively on both ends of the court. But if you pick Zach and Lonzo, we're not going to be mad. There's an argument.
Not mad at all. Not mad at all.
It's all good. But no, Gary Trent is special. His dad was actually on a podcast. I forgot the name, but I'll big you guys up. I don't know if I forgot your name. I'll big you guys up anyways. But on a podcast talking about how, how Gary Trent wasn't really happy in Portland. Like, he was kind of depressed, and how coming to Toronto, he just blossomed because he can tell that people cared about him and wanted him to succeed, right? No knock to Portland, because, there's those two sides, but it just shows you that sometimes players need a different environment, right? It's the environment. And, you know, people think, you know, I won't say his name right now, but I just think sometimes players' mental health is important. And if a player can't get it done in one city, one place, doesn't mean he can't get it done anywhere else. And the Raptors are really good at picking up these guys that no one really cares for, but they come here and they do the work, right? Gary Trent is an actual diamond that we found in the rough. And I love it. I love it. So big up Gary Trent Jr.
Big up. And if anybody had any doubts, because I know the fan base, understandably so, when Norm left, Norm became a fan favorite. He was playing some of the best basketball that we've had him in a Raptor uniform. So to see him go while he was red hot, I understand the frustration.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm pretty sure in a redraft or in a re-trade situation, as a fan base, much like when people are upset when we lost DeMar and we picked up Kawhi at first, you know, like, you know, sometimes emotions can kind of cloud your better judgment. But it's great to see that we made the right choice in picking up Gary Trent and letting Norm move on. And that's good to see.
Absolutely. Whew. So I feel like, I guess we're all both on the same page. Raptors definitely succeed. We saw this coming. I think my only concern is that can we keep up this momentum? You know, getting a break is not good for younger teams because once they're clicking, but I think we have enough chemistry, and I can tell these guys are having fun playing together. I'm seeing Siakam with emotion, like screaming after a dunk, and I'm seeing like OG, and like, you know, OG's not emotional, you know, but OG is actually like that quiet storm. Like he's not in every play, but he's impacting the court, right? Delano, Boucher is coming more on the defensive end. You know, he was saying this year his focus was playing more defense and better defense, right? So this team has something special going on, Faheem. I'm not sure how far we can go, but I'm not going to cap them, right? I'm not going to say, well, they're second round exit. No. Raptors, you take us as far as you can go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm going to say as a fan. Like, take us as far as you can go, and we got y'all back, right? So that's my take,
regarding the trade we just made a trade for Thaddeus Young. So shout out to Thaddeus Young.
Big up. Welcome to Toronto.
Welcome. Yeah, that's right.
You're
that's
done,
right.
no?
That's right. So with Thaddeus Young, a veteran, not exactly the most sexy name to pick up, especially at the trade deadline. We had someone like Goran Dragic that one might think would have a lot of value, him being a veteran backup point guard that you figure a team who's making a push would see value in. Clearly not. Maybe I kind of overestimated what I thought everyone else thought about Goran Dragic. But that's not a knock to say that we definitely picked up, we upgraded in that position. Thaddeus Young, he's a veteran. And that's what we need. We need, because ultimately, before Thaddeus Young came on the team, our veteran would have been Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam. That's not a shot, but what it is, you know, maybe it'd be nice to add more seasoned leadership to people who maybe aren't contributing on the court, but people who can maybe contribute just by their presence being there. That's something I think Thaddeus Young has and brings to the table. So with Masai making that move, got to salute him. And we'll see how this turns out. Definitely an upgrade.
Absolutely. In the words of Mr. Kevin, Mr. Diversified Youth, Emperor Masai is his name.
That's right.
Masai Ujiri. Emperor Masai Ujiri. Oh, man.
All right. Well, since you just mentioned Masai, why don't we go to For the Culture?
For the Culture, we like to highlight individuals for the culture. And today, we get to highlight the president of the Toronto Raptors, Masai Ujiri. Y'all.
Giants of Africa.
Whew. So y'all, Masai is a Nigerian professional basketball executive. Of course, also, I guess, Canadian as well, because he has citizenship here. And a former player and is the president, as y'all know, of the Toronto Raptors. He worked as a scout first back in like Orlando days. Then he went to Denver in 2008. After Orlando, joined the Raptors, went back to Denver as a GM and exec vice president of operations, then came back to Toronto and won, you know, so my bad. After you won exec of the year, came back to Toronto and has helped us build this great, great culture along Bobby Webster and all the amazing staff at the Raptor, of course, Amalesi and the Raptor family. So Faheem, what's your thoughts on Mr. Masai Ujiri? When he first came to the city, right? Were you like, okay, this guy can get it done? You know, he did win Exec of the Year. So was it promising that he can get us to a championship?
Yes. So this is all about Masai Ujiri. But I do have to say, Tim Lebron, who was his boss, was hired by MLSE. A lot of people would say, hey, you know what? Like the Raptors turned around their fate because Drake. Like there's some people out there who really do think that it was because of Drake while we turned our franchise around for where it was. But it was definitely Masai's footprint in regards to the moves to get us back on track. But I do want to mention Tim Lebron really quickly because it's kind of hard to mention Masai without mentioning his boss who gave him an opportunity. Tim Lebron came in to MLSE, heading TFC soccer team, the Leafs, Raptors. And he came in with the vision to say, hey, you know what? Let's build championships. TFC eventually got one. The Leafs, still no championship, but on a better road than they were before. And then hiring Masai Ujiri for the Raptors. When Masai when I first saw him, it was under Brian Colangelo. He's in the tunnel. I'll never forget this. And they shoot to, the camera goes to Colangelo and Ujiri. And you know, Colangelo used to have that, the collar, the big collars. And so it was mentioned that's someone who he's somewhat being mentored under. So once I saw that he was under Colangelo, he went to Denver, did his thing at Denver, didn't get fleeced. Actually, he fleeced New York to get Carmelo. That's what kind of put him on the map, executive of the year. And then he comes back to Toronto. By the time he came to Toronto, I was already familiar with this up and coming guy. And, you know, so to answer your question, definitely once we got him, I was excited. I was also excited, though, that when he first came, he didn't have the job originally. We still had Brian Colangelo, who was our GM. And there was a small transition of time that it was inevitable once we got him. Okay, you know what? Ujiri's going to take over the position. And he did take over. Colangelo left. And as we know, he comes in. First move, I think, I'm going off memory, but I think his first move was moving Bargnani. Moves Bargnani. Actually, my bad. His first move technically was hiring his general manager, Bobby Webster. Hired Bobby Webster, then trades Bargnani. And then I guess the dominoes start to come into place where we moved Rudy Gay, and then we get back John Salmons, Grievous Vasquez, who else? Another big piece, Chuck Hayes, these guys from the Kings. And then it's off to the races from there. Ujiri, clearly a visionary. And I'll let you expand a little bit more when it comes to his philanthropy. But he's definitely... without Masai Ujiri, there's no championship. And you can say that with a lot of people. Without Tim Lebron, there's no championship. You know, without Nick Nurse, there's no championship. Like there's certain people that have come in without Kawhi Leonard. There's no you know, when we talk about the championship, there's a lot of things, but we know that it starts with the top, and it starts with Masai Ujiri.
No, it's great. Like the moves he's made, he's always calculated, right? And one thing I did not know, and for those who want to get a job working in the NBA or moving on up, a lot of GMs apparently start off as being scouts, right? And, you know, scouts don't get paid well, but scouting, you watch so much basketball that it like creates this love for the game and love for development, right? Love for seeing someone and knowing this guy's going to be it, right? And I think Masai had that gift. He has that gift when it comes to scouting and visionary. So it just showed you how everything kind of comes into place, right? But one thing about Masai and why he's always for the culture is that he's an activist person. On and off the court, on and off the job, he's always trying to help others. So as everyone knows, he founded Giants of Africa in 2003. So it's coming up. And as we know, we had a big celebration here in Toronto this past year, but 03, that's almost 20 years for him, almost 20 years. The goal of this organization was to discover basketball talent. And so the first Giants of Africa camp happened and was held in his home country, Nigeria. He was director of NBA's Basketball Without Borders Africa program. and he really promoted basketball throughout the entire continent of Africa. Guys, Africa continent is massive. So imagine he is promoting the sport on and off the court and in different area codes and different, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is doing the work. He's a true basketball advocate, but he sees how much money they're making playing basketball. So it's like, hold up, if I can get at least 5 to 10 guys from Africa playing in the NBA, the money they make can go back, right, to the people. And it's a great visionary. And basketball, the money behind basketball can be also given to the countries in Africa. And now we have the BAL and so forth. So the BAL wouldn't have happened for him without his work on building the popularity of basketball on the continent. And now, you know what I'm saying? Like he's doing it all. And so I really want to highlight him today because I think he's someone that really gives everyone hope and understands that if you love something enough, you will not really dominate it, but be the best. I actually asked the NBA executive the other day, I said, hey, like, is Masai a GOAT? Like an NBA executive GOAT? And they said, you know what? He's up there, but they did name 2 people that is the argument for. Jerry West.
Hold on. Oh, okay. I was gonna try and guess. You said
okay,
Jerry
what's
West.
The other one?
There's another one?
Yeah.
Another GOAT GM. Give me a team.
Miami.
Oh, Pat Riley. My bad.
Pat Riley.
Right.
And another one, I forgot. Boston. Say it again?
Boston. Oh, Boston GOAT
so
GM.
The GM that helped build that Boston team.
Oh, yeah. Red Auerbach? No, he's the owner, right? I think he might have been the owner.
Yeah, but I forgot the name. But there were but 3 or 4 GMs that helped build these dynasties. Okay. And so, yeah, and I get it, right? Masai didn't build a dynasty yet, but he could have. I think he built one if players just stayed. For real. But, it is what it is. Masai, we appreciate you. I think you're someone for the culture. And it's great to see he's the only black president. I think we have more black GMs now, which is good to see. Right. But I think what he did has opened up doors for other black execs to push through, right? Because he's won a championship as a black president.
So can you quickly let's speak about the grace that he's had under fire.
Oh my gosh.
He's been through a lot of controversy with even winning championship, what happened with Golden State, with the case, with the overzealous security guard, even down to comments made about Masai, what is he doing in the community in regards to curbing gun violence in Toronto, which, it's not his job, but we can, lastly, even I'm trying to think of some things that Masai's been through, that whenever he's in these situations, he always seems to hold himself, like he carries himself in a way that it's like inspiring, like when he doesn't give in to the negativity. And he's just like a beacon of light, really, just very inspirational. And he's left his mark, definitely, even though he's still here. A lot of times we wait until people are gone or left before we actually give them their flowers. And that's why we need to address Masai Ujiri while he's here now, with us, and really just embrace just him being an inspiration for all of us.
All of us, man. And, he's still the only president. I think there's now 2 VPs that are black. OKC has one, and the second one, I'm trying to remember, Memphis has a black VP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he's the only president.
Oh, also, hold on. Chicago, actually, to shout out Mark Eversley also. He's a general Canadian manager, so he's black, and he's from Brampton, Toronto. Respect.
Who knows? He could probably be one of our for the culture one day. We'll talk about it. But no, Masai, flowers. I also want to put a quote today that I tweeted on my Twitter today, and it's a great quote by Masai. And for all the fans out there, anyone looking to pursue, I think Masai is a master manifester, because when he says stuff, Faheem, it typically happens. So one thing he said last night. So this is Thursday night after our 8-game winning streak. He fully said, "We've won here and we're going to win again. I truly, truly believe." Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, Faheem, but if Masai says it, it gonna happen. Yeah. So Raptor fans, do not fear. Masai has said it, and I know a lot of people tweeted it out today. Like, he makes you believe in everything. Like, he's just so confident, and knows what he's doing is calculated, right? So Masai, I'm happy to know that in my lifetime, we'll win a second championship, and I cannot wait to rewind this back and be like, yo, Masai told us this in February of 2022. You know what I'm saying? So
during Black History Month. That's right.
That's all right, man. So,
all right. So do you want to go to That's Absurd?
That's absurd, Faheem, bro. What was absurd this week? What was absurd?
So I think this whole situation is absurd.
Boy.
Different layers to this. Can't really pinpoint one, but I just thought it would be very interesting to mention the absurdity of the situation. So you have the NBA All-Star selection with LeBron and KD. They get to pick their team. I'm pretty sure it was a TNT network. I'm not sure, but I know Charles Barkley and Shaq were there. Okay.
Yes.
Right. And on trade, this very same day that they had the selection was the trade deadline. And the biggest blockbuster trade of this season was the Ben Simmons for James Harden trade. Now, they both had LeBron and KD. They were in their respective areas on a screen, and they were picking their teams. And it just so happened that the last two players to be picked happened to be Rudy Gobert and James Harden. Keep in mind, James Harden was traded from KD's team, said 6 hours earlier. So it's still a fresh wound in this situation. And what I'm saying is kind of absurd is between Gobert and Harden, it came down to KD making that final selection. And just the moment that they were in that situation where he had to pick it, and we know who he chose, right? We know who KD chose.
Yeah.
Chose Gobert.
Yeah.
And his reason for choosing Gobert, and which was smart of him, he laid out the defensive end and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we all know the truth.
We all know. But you know what? I'm sorry, Faheem. This probably is not absurd to me, because if I was Kevin Durant, I would do the same thing.
100%.
It's like choosing your ex. Why?
Exactly.
I don't want to see you, bro. I'll see you in the court, but I don't want to even say your name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to heal, but we don't know how it went down. Cause maybe I'm assuming Kevin Durant knew before they made the call.
For sure. Yeah.
Right. So, but it makes fun TV, right? And maybe Kevin Durant's like, yo, you didn't want to play with me, so why should I play with you in the All-Star game? Listen, I totally get it. But two things stood out for me. LeBron's laughter, because LeBron already knew. LeBron's like,
yeah. Once he saw the options,
he's like, this is all tea, right? All the tea. Like you can tell LeBron loves that tea, right? So LeBron's laughter, and KD was just like, we all know KD has no F's to give, right? The F's in his pockets are empty. So him picking Rudy Gobert totally makes sense. But also it shows that Rudy Gobert was picked kind of last, right? Like, if it wasn't for it, what happened? And it's like, do other All-Stars don't want to play with him? Like, is he not, like, I don't know. Different episode. But yeah, it just shows that, Harden did what he did. And now he forced his way out of Houston, now out of Brooklyn, off a super team, and is what it is. Like, no knock to what he did, or he's a grown-ass man, do what he wants. But he can't get upset for how people are going to respond or react to how he did it.
Right. So you're right. There's no definite that's absurd with this. This is just, I think, the whole scenario of the timing is a completely absurd situation for it to happen, for sure.
And also the timing, right? The timing of, like, the trade deadline is the same day as the draft. Like, was this planned all along? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell?
Okay, on the way out of the that's absurd, I got to ask you quickly, Who won the trade?
Yo, LeBron's team is lit. I'm sorry. LeBron has the...
Oh, no, sorry. I was thinking the Harden.
Oh, sorry.
No.
The LeBron All-Star team is the best. I'm sorry. Like, KD second year in a row of poor drafting. And no offense to... Yeah.
Especially with KD not being there.
Yeah, like...
playing, right? So
he did not draft well. Like, LeBron's team is good. I was like, every pick. I was like, what's going on? He got Giannis and Steph? How? Like, I don't even understand this. And he got Freddie, and he got all the... I was like, what the... And it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah,
so,
it's almost like KD said, well, I'm not playing, so I don't care.
Yeah, no offense to the starters for... and he got DeMar DeRozan, LeBron. Like, LeBron's team is good. His starters are... I was like, LeBron is a good GM. LeBron, if you retire, be a GM, because he's really good at picking, like, every year he always picks the best team for this all the time. Giannis isn't good. KD isn't good. LeBron picks on talent and what works well. Yep. I mean, he didn't do it for his own team. Shots fired.
Shots fired.
He did it for the All-Star. So good job, LeBron. Good job.
And for the Harden Simmons trade on the way out, what do you think won that?
I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so I can see why people will think that it's funny, right? The one end, Ben wasn't playing. So you're getting someone that's going to play on the court. That's a win, period, right? However, I think Philly gave away too much with Ben. You give them Ben, Andre Drummond, Seth Curry, and 2 first-round picks?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow, they got fleeced. They got fleeced. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
1 first-round pick, okay. 2 plus a shooter, a crazy rebounder, and Ben Simmons, a top-tier defender, like...
Yeah, Brooklyn filled some holes. Those are problems that Brooklyn had coming in, right? They didn't have a great defender, LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, it's great to see him back after his heart issue, and great to see that.
Yes.
But he, on the boards, he's not Drummond, so there's a huge upgrade. Brooklyn lost Joe Harris.
Yes.
Who was their three-point sniper to help them out, and they picked up Seth Curry. Of the two of them, I'm going with Seth.
Curry.
Joe Harris is still good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying Brooklyn upgraded in the pieces that they needed. And then add on top of that, Ben Simmons. I mean, well, watch out for Brooklyn. And on the flip side with the Sixers, I say Harden and Embiid, that's a great combination.
Of course.
Along with the others, Maxey and Harris.
Thibault,
defense. Right. And Thibault, like, you know, so both teams, I guess, really, we kind of speak on who won, but technically I think both teams won, I guess, in the situation.
They both won in different ways, but I think Philly gave away too much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't have to give 2 first-round picks.
So I'm going to summarize it with this. I think in the short term, we could say maybe Philadelphia might have won just because they got who they want and their window is a lot closer. So
absolutely,
they have to do it this year and maybe next year. This year or.
You can't blame Ben Simmons again. Sorry. You can't blame Ben Simmons again. You can't. I know what? I should do like a musical for like Philadelphia, because that's a whole musical, like a whole Broadway show called the Philadelphia Embiid in your Simmons business, something like that. But that could be a whole Broadway, yo. That entire drama, it's like every day something new, right? But anyway,
no, but
they can't blame Ben Simmons and they can't blame Kyrie. Like at this point, Embiid, you got what you wanted. Let's see what happens.
Right. Short term Philly, long term Brooklyn with the picks we mentioned, the players we had mentioned and the picks. So Brooklyn's looking in good status going forward.
But also, I think Brooklyn, when they add those three players, they can win more games now, right? When Kyrie's not there, you know what I'm saying? Feel me? So because Drummond and Seth can drop 20 any night, like when he's ready, right? Ben Simmons he's done like I think 23 rebounds a night, like 3 times this year. It's crazy. So I feel like them, along with what they have, is going to like they can beat the not so good teams in the NBA now. They can compete and win games, right? Even in that game with Washington last week, you know, if they had a Seth Curry there, if they had a Drummond, they get the rebound, and like those pieces are going to add to their away games, right? So yeah, I think they're great pieces. It's a long-term play. Ben got to ramp up his play. But if I'm Ben, Faheem, I am motivated.
Yes.
I'm motivated.
But also with Ben, let's keep this in mind. There's also a ton of pressure for not playing and for what, like, he's coming into the fire right now. If Ben Simmons does not look to be as impressive as he was before, and I guess there's technically no reason why he shouldn't be, because his stock has kind of dropped after what happened in the playoffs, but that's just one isolated instance. Before that, people were having that same energy for Ben Simmons during the regular season. He got it done.
Exactly.
So there's no reason why we should think that he shouldn't be able to get it done going forward. But I mean, he's under a very closeful eye. We'll say that. A lot of people are going to be looking for,
But to me, like, Ben's personality, I don't think like the pressure, like, Brooklyn fans aren't Knicks fans. You know what I'm saying? So they're not as intense and as annoying as, like, as avid, right? Like, Knicks fans, Philly fans, and the fans in LA, those fans are very much like in your face. So I think it's going to a great fan base where, like, their home games aren't really home games. It's like Knicks fans mixed with away. It's like, there's still that New Jersey team in a sense, right? They're in Brooklyn, but still have the New Jersey essence. But all Ben got to do is play defense.
Yeah.
The baskets will come. Kyrie will get him the ball. Kevin Durant is his own, like, entity of greatness, right? Andre will give you the rebounds. Seth is a sniper. They got Patty Mills. Like, that team is going to be fine. And I think if I'm Ben playing with the best player in the league, the pressure is not really, you know what I'm saying? Who can play all positions, can score in any way, and who will always draw the double team no matter what. Ben could be in the paint all he wants, bro. All he wants.
And that's, they just need him to come in and just do what he does.
Yeah.
The saying, actually Biggie's line, spread love, it's the Brooklyn way. Something else that I would say is the Brooklyn way is trying to stack your team with just stars. Because, remember what happened when, was it 5-6 years ago, the Raptors first year, they picked up Paul Pierce, KG, and there's a third one. Who's the third big star that Brooklyn picked up? Help me out. Remember when we lost it, they beat us in the first round of the playoffs?
Yes. Oh, who was the third star?
It was Garnett. It was Pierce. Who's the third piece? They tried to build a big three of a bunch of old guys at the end of their career.
Yes, but I forgot the third piece.
I know.
Yeah.
I wish we can have a listener, because I know there's a listener right now listening who knows this person is yelling it out, saying, why don't they remember this guy?
He's like, come on, Faheem, use your brain.
While you're looking it up, I'll just finish the train of thought. Back in those days when they had those three, they got them all in the career, and Brooklyn failed, and they broke up after that. And it seemed like the Brooklyn fan base was just happy with just the opportunity to be in the playoffs. I kind of have the feeling nothing's changed after 8 years. I have a feeling with this team now, Ben Simmons could come in, do what he has to do. If they win and do successful, that's great. If they don't, I still think Brooklyn's gonna be like, hey, thanks for giving us a shot. Brooklyn fans, the Brooklyn Nets fans do not quite strike me as the New York Knicks fans. I'll land there. Did you get a chance to find out?
The team was quite good. They had Jason Terry, Joe Johnson, Kevin Garnett, Reggie Evans, Jason Collins, Brooke Lopez, Mason Plumlee, Tornike, Mirza Tovid, Marcus Thornton, Deron Williams.
Okay, so maybe there wasn't a third one then.
There wasn't a third, maybe because I know Jason Terry, he was obviously.
So at the time, though, this is what it would have looked like then. Now that you mentioned the names, it would look like KG, Pierce, Deron Williams at the end. Darren Williams at the end of his career. He was still a name. Yeah. And you mentioned Jason Terry, who at that time would have had a championship, the tattoo on his arm. I mean, just a lot of players that had been accomplished thrown together on one team.
On a team. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, unfortunately in this modern day of basketball, an older team is not going to win a championship. You have to have a mixture. Like the Raptors, we had Freddie and Siakam, who was young, with the Kawhi and Kyle. Like, has to be a mixture of young and old, and a good blend of veteran leadership and young, like, hunger. You know what I mean? Like, that's the remedy to success. And I think, teams that have that Bucks got Serge now. You know what I mean? Like certain teams are
Yes.
making good pieces and pieces to the team. So yeah, we'll see. Like a lot's gonna happen. A lot of trades went down. So I'm looking forward to the second half of the NBA season. So y'all, this is gonna come out before the All-Star break. So quick prediction, because why not? We got time. Who you got winning the 3-point competition?
3-point. Ooh, do you have the names? Not
so
to put you on the spot.
Yeah, so it's okay. I know it's Trey, Buddy Hield, Trey, Buddy Hield, Fred VanVleet. Let's see, Trey, Buddy Hield, Fred VanVleet. Let me get the other ones. Luke Kennard, right. I remember him. Oh yeah, here we go. So
you say
Desmond
okay,
Bane.
You got it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Fred VanVleet, Desmond Bane, Luke Kennard, Zach LaVine, forgot about him, CJ, who's now at Pelicans, Patty Mills, karl-Anthony Towns, and Trae Young.
Yeah. So I just want to hear the names of the guys that Fred VanVleet beat for 3-point competition.
Me too. Okay, Fred. Yeah,
So those are the names that he beat. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So Fred beat those guys, and the dunk contest: Obi Toppin, Jalen Green, Cole-Anthony, and Juan Toscano Anderson for the Warriors.
Wow. I'm going to go with Jalen Green just off of being fresh blood, and he has a good rep. I'm going to go with Jalen Green's our NBA slam dunk champion.
Yeah, I want to go with, Jalen, I heard he's very creative. But you know what? I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to go with Obi Toppin. Why not?
Okay. Not bad. He's a high flyer.
It's a New Yorker. Yeah, he got some hops. And I feel like when he dunks, it's very like that Vince Carter-esque. Like it's a lot of emotion, a lot of aggression, which I like. So yeah, I'm going to go with Obi Toppin. So yeah.
And lastly, for the teams, who you got? Team LeBron, Team KD?
LeBron. Giannis, listen, no one plays as hard for an all-star game as Giannis. Okay?
Yeah. Well, maybe, hold on. I got one. I think Kyle Lowry might really rival him. Who takes a charge in the all-star game?
That is true. But you know what? Kyle could only do so much when Giannis dunks on his head top throughout the game. You know what I'm saying? But keep in mind, like Kyle Lowry, of course, he missed a lot of games without playing, but Giannis's team also has Fred VanVleet. So, we're lucky to have Freddie play with Giannis. Hopefully he can kind of watch his game, give us some tips on the end. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking. But yeah, I think Team LeBron got this again. I'm sorry, Team Durant. Y'all, you don't pick right, bro. They got Steph Curry and he got Giannis. Oh, gosh.
Lights out.
And James Harden, who now knows that KD didn't pick him. Whoo.
The storylines over NBA All-Star Weekend is going to be very interesting. Enough
tea, Faheem, the tea that I'll be sipping that night with some. Well, I'm not gonna say the bottle because they ain't sponsor me or branding me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm drinking something that's dark that night with ginger beer. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Oh man, well, enjoy the All-Star. I hope you had a great time in Super Bowl weekend.
I think we should just put this episode in the books. This is episode 78.
78.
That's right. Yeah, it's always nice vibing with you on this tip. We usually have a guest in between working it, but we got through it. Okay.
We got through it okay. And it's just great to, sometimes chat a little bit, talk about, what we're doing for Good Rookies, y'all. But a lot of things cooking for y'all this year. So 2022, a lot
of things. We
got some things happening for y'all. Don't you worry, right? Don't you worry.
That's right.
So let's do some shout outs. I guess, typically I go first. So I'm going to, take it. I'm going to shout out all the Canadian Olympians right now in Beijing 2022. For those who don't know, the women's hockey semifinals happening. I think today or this weekend. So hopefully they can win it and, of course, win gold. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to them. But yeah, shout out to all the Olympians, all the Canadians who've won, medals this year thus far. And yeah, we're in a cold country, so there's no reason why, you know what I'm saying, we're not a top 5 country in the Olympics. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, your thoughts, Faheem, or any shout outs for you?
Quick shout out. Why don't I give a shout out to, drawing a blank here because there's someone I was going to mention. Why don't we do this? Let's shout out everybody that supported us at the Toronto Raptors fan club on
Ooh, I
Clubhouse.
like that.
We've been doing Clubhouse, as anyone may be aware, from game number 1. It was Washington, and we've been there every single night, having a platform. People come in and give their opinions, whether they drop in or they stay all night. We have a platform. I just want to actually thank everybody who's come into our rooms on Clubhouse, support us on Clubhouse. And I do find that this season's a little bit different than others. I find the family or conversations that I've been having with people, it's so amazing to have conversations with people like complete strangers. Like, you don't know them from Adam. They come with opinion, and even if their opinion is different than yours, you state your opinion and, have a dialogue and keep it moving. And I feel that I've learned so much this year from people even coming in with their opinions that may have been different from mine, but just getting a pulse for what people are thinking. So I want to thank them actually for making this season, I think, a special season, because I've been following basketball for clearly maybe over 30 years, tell you the truth.
Yes. From Bible times, we get it. Okay, we get it, Lord.
And this season is actually a special season that
I
it's
agree.
been just a commitment to speaking to people. This is a season that I'll never forget. So I thank everybody who's popped into the Toronto Raptors fan club on Clubhouse.
Agreed. Yeah, great shout out. And you're right. It's a very special season. And the room is special. The vibe is special. It's always talk debates. It's good. It's everything. And I think, we've all grown as individuals, as fans, and we're all learning from each other in real time, right?
Right.
So that's just a great shout out. Shout out to all the people that,
My shout out's not done though, actually. Now I think about it, I'd like to extend in overtime a special shout out to you, Nelly J. You hold down, just to give context of why I'm giving this special shout out. We have a platform, and a game lasts for 3 hours. For Nelly J to come in with complete strangers and provide them a platform where they could speak their mind and have conversation for 3 hours. That's a skill in itself and a testament to your commitment to this, because yes, you can chat. Yes. You put it to good use. Definitely put it to good use. And someone who you actually, as the game's going on, you keep the conversation flowing, different topics, you get people involved. I've actually learned quite a bit just by being with you during your watch party. So you know what? That's a special shout out that I want to give to you.
Thank you. And I'm gonna shout you out because you've always wanted to host a post-game show for the Raptors, and your dreams are coming true. We're gonna extend it to other sites, but yeah, shout out to you, man. That post-game show, it's really good. You do a really good job, and everyone you do it is like you get better and better. It's a good structure, it's a good vibe, and yeah, like everyone gets to give their take. Because sometimes after a game, win or loss, we all want to vent to something, right? Now we have a platform where you can vent with joyous or with anger on Clubhouse. And you're always so patient. I learned that from you, how to be patient. Because I'm like, Faheem, are you there? Because I can't today. But your patience is always good. Because I'm like, how's Faheem staying so calm? Like, I would have been like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? So keep being you, keep hosting the show. And I know we're going to grow that space. We're going to grow the community because it's for the fans. It's by us, for us, but it's with Clubhouse. So big up to Clubhouse for letting us, work with them on the space. But yeah, we're going to do things for our people and for the culture. So big up to you, Faheem, for the post-game show.
Thank you very much, and enough respect to you. Okay, so let's put this episode in the books.
It's episode 78.
78.
78 weeks straight, y'all. And to the next. So y'all, thank you so much. As you know, please tell a friend to tell a friend, subscribe, like, all we ask, guys. And also, if you have any topics you want us to cover, email us at goodrookiespodcast@gmail.com. Faheem.
That's right. And I liked what you said, 78, and you said 78 straight. That rhymes, and it totally describes what's happened. We've been going on for 78 straight weeks.
Whew.
Commitment.
You
know where to look for us. If you're trying to find us, we're on all platforms for you. Try and make us part of your Tuesday. If we can't be part of your Tuesday, possibly your Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Take us in during the week and catch us on the next Tuesday. That's Good Rookies Podcast. So 78, and we out.
Peace.